Hi guys! Let's focus today on a very specific area of arms. But it's not just kind of an isolated, just your arm, but we'll focus a little bit through the neck, the shoulder, the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, and even into the hand. This video is specifically for people who might have tenderness in their shoulder movements, maybe a limited range of motion like frozen shoulder. Also for people who have experienced any issues with carpal tunnel, maybe people who type a lot, hairstylists, tennis players, golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, those kind of situations. There's even people who are side sleepers who will crunch their neck, and there's a little outlet here from the neck under your collarbone and down your arm called your thoracic outlet. When that gets pinched, sometimes people will get prolonged pins and needles in their hand, or a weakness in the muscles that innervate your fingers, your hand. So we're going to work on tapping into all of these areas and seeing what we can come up with, right? Any comfortable seated position. And we first start with the breath, first and foremost, because that creates the rhythm for our practice, the rhythm for our nervous system. And the nervous system is going to send messages to our muscles, our tendons, our ligaments. It's going to send the message whether to be reactive and contracting, or whether to be allowing and stretching, lengthening. So let's see if we can conduct the breath in a way that eases the nervous system into that smooth, steady rhythm. In and out through your nose, rhythmic, graceful. On and on and on and on. I do have a playlist as usual. I'll link it in the notes, the description below. With $3.06, yeah, you my love. All right, let's start moving around and getting to know this area from our sternum, our neck, all the way through the arm and into the fingers. Taking your arms out in front of you, interlace your fingers. Pull your hands away from you as you round your spine slightly and draw your chin into your chest, allowing for a little lengthening through the back of the neck. Right ear to your right shoulder. Chin back to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Chin back to chest. Cypher keeps rolling like a rolling stone. And now release. Take your arms behind you. So now consider opening up through the front of your chest, your shoulder, even through your bicep as you interlace your fingers behind you. Now, if grabbing your own hand is a little difficult, find a strap, a belt, a towel, anything will do that you can grab behind you and pull those arms up. Now, they may not go up very far, and that's okay. You don't have to force it. Just go to your natural edge. Draw the shoulder blades down, and even a little squeezing together as you engage the muscles in the back. Maybe it helps you to stretch. Not maybe, it does help you to stretch the muscles in the front, right? They're opposing actions. And not only stretching the muscles in the front, but giving them permission to let go. As the back turns on, the front turns off. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to turn off some of these overactive muscles, dominant muscles. These muscles that tend to round us a little forward. Oh, on and on and on and on. My cypher keeps moving like a rolling stone. And now release your arms. Woo, shake that out. Take your arms overhead as you inhale, arms reach up. Interlace your fingers here. Flip your palms up and feel like you could pull your arms up and away. But don't let them actually come apart. As you reach the arms back, draw circles over your head. Circle the other direction. And now releasing. Releasing your arms back down by your sides. Oh, excuse me, guys. It's sweaty out here. It's South Florida, summertime. There's no time of day that it's not humid and sweaty. So, all right. Taking your left hand to your head. Pull your left ear to your left shoulder and start to open up the space between your right ear all the way down your upper trap, down into the collarbone and shoulder. And perhaps you extend your right arm out to the right, turn your fingers down, your palm is facing away from you. And you bring that arm down to a certain angle until you find, your Goldilocks zone, that spot that gives you sensation, that gives you information. And you move that information with your breath, steady and rhythmic. Down to the hills, she knows who I am. And these are my good deeds. And all right, release, shake that out. Some of y'all know what song I'm singing. Some of y'all just think I'm crazy, and that's okay too. Right hand to your head, pull your right ear down to your right shoulder. See if you can keep those shoulders down away from your ears. Take your left arm out, turn your fingers down, and your palm faces away from you. You see that? And start to draw that left arm down just enough till you find a little angle and breathe. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I count singing as breathing. So you can either do your rhythmic breathing or do some singing. That's rhythmic and beautiful too. There's nobody out there. Let that release. Shake it out. Find a different angle for the neck so that we can release any of these little scaling muscles in the neck that tend to pinch on that bundle of nerve and blood vessels that go down your arm through that thoracic outlet we spoke about. Taking your left hand to your head, turn your head to the left, and then pull your nose towards your left pec or your left armpit. Take me all the way. I never wanna feel like I did that day. Release. Shake it out. Take it to the other side. Right hand to your head. Turn your head to the right. Nose towards your right pec, towards your right armpit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring it back to center. Give it a little shrug. Okay, the front of the neck. So this area here, these muscles in the front called the SEM, sternocleidomastoid, they're sometimes known as your whiplash muscles. They're the muscles that kind of get contracted when your head has been whipped forward and back. So we're going to lengthen those out too, creating spaciousness in the neck, creating an elongated neck so we can decompress any pressure that might be on these cervical vertebrae. And again, any pressure that might be pinching down onto that thoracic outlet where our nerve and blood vessels go. Take your left hand to your chest under your collarbones. Now, if you can get skin to skin, even better, because then you'll get that myofascial stretch. Your right hand goes to your chin. As you pull down on your chest, pull up on your chin and look up. Pull down and up. And now release. Switching sides. Right hand to your chest under your collarbones. Left hand to your chin. Pull down on your chest. Pull up on your chin. Simultaneously pulling down and up. And let that release. Shake it out. Okay. Now let's go a little bit lower down into our shoulders. Start with simple and then we'll pick up the intensity. Taking your left arm across your chest, grab a hold and pull it all the way across. Now try not to twist the torso. Keep your torso neutral and just move from your shoulder, from the joint itself. And switching sides, right arm across your chest. Grab a hold with your left hand and pull it across. Releasing. Bring your left arm up and behind your head. So I'll turn around so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Left arm goes behind the head as best you can. Maybe you grab a hold of your right elbow or your left elbow and you pull it in towards your midline as close as you can. Minor shoulders are very flexy, so don't try to force yourself to go this deep if that's not natural for you. Go as far as you need to go to feel something, and then push your head back into your arm. Push, push, push. Take a few breaths here. I can eat my dinner at a fancy restaurant. Nothing compares to you. 'Cause nothing compares. Keeping your left arm where it is, take your right arm out to the right. Turn your thumb down, right? So you see how that rolls my shoulder forward or anteriorly? Taking your right hand behind you. Now you can grab your shirt. You can grab a strap, or if it's available, you can grab your hand if it's there. Continue to push your head back into your arms, holding and breathing here. Hi, Mr. Dragonfly. There's a dragonfly inside the studio. I'll help you out later. Oh, it's raining. That's nice. And now releasing your arms. Woo, shake that out a bit. Take it to the other side. Right arm reaches up behind your head. Grab a hold of your elbow and try to pull it inward towards your midline as though you're trying to pull it along the spine. Push your head back and take a few breaths here. Compares to you, 'cause nothing compares. Nothing compares to you. Keep your right arm where it is. Take your left arm out to the left. Turn your thumb down so that anteriorly rotates your shoulder. Your palm faces back. Reach your hand behind you. You can grab onto your shirt, your strap or belt, like so. Or if your hand is available, grab onto your hand. Continue to push your head back into your arms. And breathe. Search for the sensations. Notice all the parts that you're talking to, communicating with. All the parts that you're clearing by feeling them. Releasing. Shake it out of it. Okay. Oh my God, that was like the quickest rain ever. It's already going away. All right. Taking your arms out to a T. Cross your right arm under your left arm. You cross as high up on the arm as you can. And then bend your elbows. For some, you're going to grab your opposite shoulders and lift your elbows up, up, up. If it's available, you may be able to cross your forearms. Okay? Looks like so. If you've got the opposite shoulders, keep lifting your elbows, holding and breathing. If you've wrapped your forearms, you don't have to get hands together. Get as close as you can. Pulling your hands away from your face and up, away and up. Creating a little space between your shoulder blades into these upper back muscles called the rhomboids. And now release. Open it up, broaden the chest. Switching sides, left arm will go underneath your right. Left arm under. You can cross at as high up as you can. Bend the elbows, maybe grab opposite shoulders, lift the elbows. Or if it's available, cross your forearms. Start to pull your hands away from your face and up, away and up. Just enough until you find sensation, and then you hang out and process that sensation. Let it move through your tissues, let it move through your nervous system, and guide it with your breath. It's gentle, it's steady, it's rhythmic. You get to choose how you process information, and perhaps controlling your breath is how we start to do that. Choose how we process the ebbs and flows of sensation that are moving through us. Releasing, shake it out. Okay, coming forward to all fours, however you can comfortably get there. Oh, gotta throw all this hair back. Reaching your right arm all the way up to the ceiling and start to draw some big circles here. If you like to move your hips, you can move your whole torso as though you're swimming. Motion is lotion. Get that shoulder to move. Let it lubricate through movement. Circle the other direction. Reaching your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Twist open. Sweep your right arm under your left hand so that your right shoulder comes down to the floor. Now, your right side of your face can either come to floor, or if that's a little tricky, bring your head to a block or a pillow, a set of pillows. As you reach your left arm over your head towards the front of your mat, straight up, or reach your left arm behind your back. It's true. Releasing your left hand down by your face. Sweep that right arm back up and release your right hand to the mat. Inhale, left arm lifts and start drawing some circles here, moving in unison with your breath. Circling the other direction. Bring that left arm all the way back up as you inhale. Exhale, sweep your left arm under your right hand so your left shoulder comes down to the mat, the left side of your head to either floor or block. Right arm reaches straight overhead. One option, or another option is your right arm reaches behind your back. Notice if that right shoulder is kind of collapsing. See if you can roll it open if you're trying to take that twist. Allowing your weight to kind of draw down, especially into that bottom arm. We're trying to lengthen through the back of the left shoulder, the rotator cuff area, and the side, left side of your neck. Releasing your right hand by your face. Pressing yourself back up to all fours. Bring your belly all the way to the mat. Belly to the floor. Toes point back. You can prop yourself up on your forearms for a moment. Broaden your collarbones. Draw your shoulders down. Lift your heart. Creating this proud peacock chest. Open it up. And taking your right arm out to the right. I'll scooch over so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Bend the right arm at the elbow and then walk your hand a few inches forward so you have a little bit of an angle in that right arm. See that little angle there? Left hand is by your face. As you turn your head to the left, your head comes either to floor or to block or pillows. As you lift your left leg up and roll over. Now your left leg might not come all the way, your left foot might not come all the way to the floor. That's okay. You can hang out here, or if it's available, you can bring it to the floor. Bringing a little awareness to the front of your shoulder, that right shoulder. Anterior delt, pec major. Maybe with this angle, we're even getting pec minor. That's the hope with that little angle we created. You can roll out of it slightly, straighten out that right arm, and then roll back over it to see if there's any different sensations for you, getting into different muscle fibers of the pec. I feel like one is more pec minor and the straight arm is more pec major. So see what feels intuitively right for you to hang out and breathe into. Into your imagination. Releasing, bring it back to center. Oh, come up onto your forearms. Open the chest and notice what it feels like, the right side versus the left side, how open you are. How alive it is. Open is alive. Left arm out to the left. I'll turn this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. Left arm out to the left. Bend the elbow. Walk your hand a couple inches up. So it's not just a straight 90-degree angle. Okay? Right hand by your face. Turn your head to the right. Lift your right leg up and roll it over towards the left as far as it can naturally go. Hang out here and process the waves of feeling, the waves of breath, the waves of thoughts. Letting that kind of unroll as you reach that left arm straight out to the left and then re-engage into the stretch. Finding different perspectives. This is really important for people who do a lot of work with their arms, especially if your arms are in front of you, like somebody who's at a computer or a hairdresser, that works with their hands, arms in front, driving a lot. Release, bring it back to center, forearms to the mat, heart forward. Good. Hands back by your chest. Press up to all fours. Let your knees come together as your heels come together and you draw your hips back. Forehead towards the floor. Maybe your arms come down by your side with your palms facing up. This is our child's pose. This is a little bit more of a traditional child's pose with the knees together, allowing the back to lengthen out. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Again, if that's tricky, grab a hold of a strap or a towel. Lift your hips off of your heels. You could even tuck the toes under and draw your hips a little further forward as you reach the arms up, 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 and away from your back. Maybe the palms stay together and see if you can feel a little bit more bicep tendon stretch. So a little bit up in the arm towards the biceps. Maybe you open the palms and flip them out and see if that gives you a different sensation. Explore. If your neck is a little crunchy, you can skip this pose and even just keep your forehead to the floor and reach those arms up, okay? Wherever you took it, slowly release. Sitting back onto your heels, release your arms. And come to seated onto your heels. Grab a hold of a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, maybe some pillows, some books. Most people have noticed that this is about the size of a box of pasta. So whatever works for you. And we're going to bring this to the middle setting. Okay? Taking your block a few feet in front of you, we're going to go, instead of the biceps, now we're going to do the opposing muscles, the triceps, the backs of the arms here. So as you press your elbows into your block, if you have wide shoulders, you may want 2 blocks for this. Okay, I'll show you this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. Your elbows go onto your block, hands together in a prayer position. See? Your hips are a little further back. As you drop your head, maybe your head goes through your arms, and you can bring your hands to your upper back, still together in that prayer position. Reaching your arms forward, maybe keeping them together in that prayer position like you're doing a chopping motion. Bringing your arms forward and back. And then release. Bringing it back up. Release your block. Let's massage our forearms a little bit. Those who work with their hands a lot tend to hold a lot of tension in these muscles here in our forearms. And that can create golfer's elbow here on the inside, tennis elbow there on the outside, right? It could create carpal tunnel issues. That's the bottom of the wrist, is a tunnel that holds your tendons. So we're going to massage this area out a little bit, create a little blood flow, little circulation, and see if that allows us to create a little bit more stretching. The adjustment music quickly. In the meantime, if you happen to have an oil that you like, maybe coconut oil, jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, grab a hold because you can actually add a little oil to this massage. I'm using an oil blend that I created with pine, eucalyptus, and rosemary. You can put your own herbs, dry herbs, in like avocado oil or jojoba oil and let them sit in a cold, dark place for weeks and weeks, maybe even a couple months. And then you get your own amazing infused oil. Oh, and these are from plants in my yard. They smell amazing. I wish I could translate this over to you guys. Oh, just you'll just have to trust me on it. So we'll start with the right arm. Bring your right arm out in front of you. We're here on all fours. And we'll start with the under part of the forearm. So your palm is facing up. You guys see that? Now, there's an option to go really deep. If you've got really muscly, stiff forearms, you can use your knee, if you're flexy enough, and get in there with your knee. See that? And massage your arm. But I don't think that's necessary for most of us. You'll use your left arm. The pinky edge of your left arm, feel that bone there? That's the ulna edge. We're going to use that. It's almost like a rolling pin. Starting at the inner elbow. It's probably not the right shirt to wear for this video. Starting at the inner elbow and making some circles with the pinky side of my left arm. Making some circles and bringing it all the way down. And I'm starting with my arm dry because I want to see if I can get more of the myofascial movement, right? So more of like the skin and the connective tissue. And then when I'm done, then I'll use my oil to kind of make it nice and smooth and flowy. But for now, I'm trying to break up some old scar tissue in there from years of massage, from years of typing. I'm trying to break up some old patterns and seeing if I can elongate these tissues. See how I'm kind of going from one edge, from the inner elbow to the wrist in a rolling pin manner, kind of a rolling pin through the forearm. Every once in a while, up and down in little circles. Corazón, ábrete, corazón. And if you're someone who works with your arms a lot, this little sequence is something that you can do pretty often. You don't have to do all the poses, just do some of them. But the repetition is the key. Not how deep you go, but how often you do it. Now, while you take a few of these rolling pin rolls down the arm. You could even open and close your fist a few times. Open and close that right fist as you're rolling down, and you'll start to feel some of those muscles popping under that left arm. And then flip, palm down, and good into the top of your forearm, rolling it out. A little bit of circling. Repetition is the key to break those old habit patterns, to break those old scar tissue patterns, and to create new patterns. So try to repeat this, especially if you have a job or a sport where you're using your hands, your arms, your shoulders a lot. Just keep doing this as much as you can to keep those joints healthy, to kind of offset all the work that you do. And even from my friends who are hairstylists, you don't think of that as a sport, but it's physical. It's physical work. It's a lot on your body, especially the repetitive movement. So try to undo the repetitive movements you do at work by doing some repetitive stretching after work, right? And now, shake out that right arm. Ooh. We'll do the same thing to the left forearm. Bring the left forearm out in front of you, right? See this? I'll do it this way so you guys can get a different angle. Right forearm, the pinky edge of the forearm. Feel that? We use that bone to circle, to rolling pin, to massage out the left forearm. Notice if you find any really thick, sticky, or crunchy areas. Those might be areas where you spend a little bit more targeted focus and time. Notice which side is your dominant side. Most of us is going to have the right side as the dominant side, but that's not necessarily always the case. And for instance, my tennis players, sometimes they'll use the opposite hand for their backhand. So you might feel tension in your less dominant arm because you use that for your backhand. So just explore and get to know the lines of your body, get to know the map of your body, right? Of where you're holding on to stress, right? So that you know where to go, where the healing is. The healing potential lies in all these different little pockets. And then remember to open and close your hands as you're rolling pin down the arm. In the love and the light, in the love and the light, we are. Flip your arms so now your palm is down from your inner elbow all the way towards the wrist. Give it a few passes, a few circles. Ooh, that's a nice area right there. This is the area for the backhand for my tennis players right up here. So golfers, you do a lot of that putting action. That's going to be a little bit more on the inner, on the palm upside. So just recognize that you might have certain patterns based on your daily activities. If you do a lot of typing, that might be a little tighter on the bottom, on the underside of the forearm. It may even be something with your grip. If you're gripping a tool, gripping a tennis racket, a golf club, that will tighten up through the carpal and the underside of your forearm as well. Sometimes creating a bigger grip can help. Go ahead and release that left arm, shake it out. So Some of my tennis players, my pros, will wrap their tennis rackets up with thicker tape and give them a little bit of a bigger grip, because that tighter grip is going to create tension throughout here. And I wonder if that wouldn't also be the case for some of my hairdresser friends, if you can maybe wrap some of your tools in tennis tape and create a little bit more of a cushioned grip to release some of this. So now that we massaged it, I'm going to bring a little bit of lovey massage. Instead of that deep myofascial stuff, we'll just do the more superficial stuff with my yummy, delicious pine eucalyptus rosemary oil. Oh, God, so good. And I'm going to rub it through my hands, my forearms. Oh, these guys do a lot of work for you, especially if it's something that you do for a sport or for a career. So give them some massage. Even consider getting a big tub of water. It could even just be a big bowl of water, and two bowls, one hot and one cold. And you dunk in the hot and then you dunk in the cold, and you dunk in the hot and you dunk in the cold, and you keep alternating, creating a nice like tourniquet effect of opening and closing, and creating blood flow through this area. That's for when you're especially achy. And then days that you're not that achy, but you just want a little relief, one big bowl of water, warm water with Epsom salts, and soak your arms, soak your hands, right? People do that a lot for their feet. But if you work with your arms, if you work with your hands, oh, they'll love you for doing that. So just a little massaging up and down, circle it around, get into the hands, get into this thumb pad here, that thenar. Ooh, yeah, it's like the bicep of the thumb. That guy does a lot, especially if you're gripping a lot. Oof, get in there. Doesn't have to be fancy. All right, let's stretch a little bit through these areas. Starting with your palms facing away from you, fingers face down. Bring your hands to the floor, a couple feet in front of your knees, and then lean back. Now that might be enough. You might start to feel that stretch up the back of the forearm and through the wrist, that carpal tunnel area. If you're lifting your hands, you're cheating yourself out of some of that really good lengthening. So keep the palms down. If you want a little bit more sensation, you draw the hands closer together and lean back. If you still want more sensation, you tuck your toes, you lift your hips, your knees, and you start to pop your head through your arms like a downward facing dog, but with your fingers facing towards you. And releasing wherever you took it, coming back onto your heels and shake that out. If that was really beneficial for you, you can stay there a little longer and repeat that same stretch throughout the day, a couple times a day. So from that back part of our form, let's do the top, the front, right? Make a fist with both hands. Fist pump yourself because you're awesome. Flip your palms up and bring your hands a few feet in front of you. Now, see if you can keep your palms together. I'll go back here so you guys can see. Keep your palms together, or your hands together, still in the fist. Back of your hand goes to the floor, the back of the hand, right? So not this, this. See the difference? Straighten the arms as much as you can. They may not go all the way straight. That's okay. Don't force it. You may start to see certain fingers want to pop open. And that shows me that you have some tight lines, tight tendons all the way up, right? The muscles from your fingers start all the way in your forearm and kind of tendon their way down. So see if you can keep the fist, keep the back of your hand down, lean a little to the left, lean a little to the right, and see if perhaps you can start to find where the tight lines are. When you find a tight line, hang out there a little longer, hold and breathe. And now release, sitting back on your heels, shake that out. Let your right hand come to the floor with your palm facing up. See that? Right palm faces up, fingers face towards you. Start opening and closing your fist Opening and closing your fingers. Open and close a few times. And then open your fingers. Keep the right fingers facing towards you as you turn your inner elbow. I'm going to lift this up so you guys can see. Turn your inner elbow forward. So watch my elbow. Rotate. See the rotation? I'm rotating the inner elbow forward. And now I have a lot of rotation, so yours might not go that far, and that's okay. It doesn't need to. Just go as far as you need to go to find that rotational stretch. You have your weight predominantly in your left hand so that there's not a lot of weight on that right arm and right wrist. Release, shake that right hand out. And now bring your weight into your right hand. Let your left palm come face up. Left palm, or left fingers rather, facing towards you. Okay? And open and close your fist. Open and close. Maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Open your palm, open up your fingers, straighten the arm as much as you can, doesn't have to go all the way straight, and turn your inner elbow forward towards the front of your mat, as far as it can go. Your weight is predominantly in your right hand, so you're a little light in that left arm. And then release it back onto your heels, shake that out. Okay. Take your right arm up, fingers together. Left hand around your wrist as though you're putting on a tight glove. And now make circles. Hold that wrist nice and tight. Make circles with your right hand. Circle the other direction. And then forward and backwards flexion and extension of the wrist. Make a fist, open it up. Make a fist, open it up. All different movements, all different directions. Shake that out. Switching sides. Left fingers together. Right hand grabs left wrist. Pull it on and down as though you're putting on a tight glove. And circle your wrist. Circle your fingers. Circle the other direction. Forward and back. Make a fist, open it up. Release that, shake it out. Thumbs. So see if you can massage that little thumb pad there, that big muscle of your thumb. Give it a little bit of love. I'm massaging the right thumb right now. And then we're going to stretch that right thumb out. When the thumb gets tight, right, especially from a lot of gripping, there's a tendency for the thumb to come in towards the other fingers and down. So you kind of get like this drop thumb, right? I see this in people who do a lot of knitting, needlework, a lot of gripping. They get this kind of tucked under thumb. And little by little, that starts to create congestion, right, in this joint and eventually perhaps arthritis, right? Because there's kind of a compression in that joint. So we're going to pull the thumb apart from the other fingers, pull it away, get that stretch of away, and back, right, to counter the down and in. So away and back. Stretch the thumb. And the coconut, go together. Put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better. Release. Take your right palm to face away from you, fingers face down. You tuck your left thumb under the wrist, under the hand there, and then your fingers go to your palm and you pull your fingers towards the floor or towards you as you straighten out the right arm as far as it'll go. And release. Other side, I'm going to give my left thumb that little thenar area there, that's what they call it. Give that little thumb muscle some blood flow, a little bit of massage. Doctor, is there nothing that can take us to doctor? to relieve this bellyache. I said, doctor. Okay, you're going to stretch it out. Pull your left thumb away from the other fingers and then back towards you. Away and back. Spread those fingers. Open up your palm. If you do a lot with your hands, you want to keep repeating these stretches so that you can show your body a different pattern. Because whatever you do with your body most often, your body's going to create muscle memory around that, and it's just going to repeat that pattern. So if you're always gripping something, your body's going to turn into these kind of grippy hands because it's going to know that's the action that you ask it for all the time. So it's going to turn into what you ask, right? It's going to turn into that shape. I had a guitar teacher whose fingers were like this. Even when he was writing with a pen, he had to write like this because he just did the same action over and over without ever doing the opposing action. So that's just an imbalance. You need some yin to your yang, right? Do the opposing actions. Whatever you do a lot of at work or at, your sport, do the opposite action, at least a little bit to untrain that pattern that you've set all day. Okay, let your palm face away. Left palm faces away from you, fingers face down. Thumb behind your hand there, kind of tucked into the wrist. Right fingers to your palm, and you pull your fingers down and towards you as you straighten out that left arm. See what I'm doing there? Mm-hmm. And then let that really shake it out. Come through to any comfortable seated position. Take your arms out in front of you, taking your fingers to your thumbs and flick, 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 flick. Keep this flicking action going. Flick, flick, like you're trying to flick water off your fingertips. Flick, flick, flick. Arms are straight out in front of you. Flick, flick, flick. We're going to really increase the blood flow through to these arms, especially now that we help to clear some of the stagnant fluids from there. We help to clear some of the scar tissue or old patterns. And now through these clear hands, forearms, shoulders, chest, neck areas, we're going to pump some freshly oxygenated blood through. Oh, you might be fatiguing a little bit. You might be feeling the warmth of that blood rushing into the area. That's perfect. Flick, flick, flick. Keep flicking, keep flicking, keep flicking, and shake it out. Shake it out. Bring those hands together. Woo, feeling the energy moving through. Feeling the tingles and sensations moving through your hands as you bring your hands to your heart center. And find yourself in any comfortable position. It can be, hold on, I'm going to change my music. It can be seated. It can be laying down, whatever works for you. Give yourself time to find stillness, to process all of the changes you've made, to let your body and your nervous system understand that there's new patterns in place now. Give yourself time to breathe, slow and steady, and imagine if you have muscle memory, not if, you do. Imagine that your muscle memory is not just the superficial physical muscles and tissues of our body, but perhaps you also have a nervous system type of muscle memory that we can help to reset. Maybe you even have a breathing muscle memory as the way that you breathe kind of shallowly throughout the day that just becomes your normal. So we're going to break those old muscle memories of our body, our nervous system, our breath, and we're going to create a new pattern, a new muscle memory, a new nervous system and breathing memory. As you slow down your breath, take long inhales and even longer exhales. And we take time to feel the physical openings that have occurred from our neck, down our shoulders, down the arms, into the wrist, palms, and fingers. Go a little bit more subtle. Notice the energetic openings that have occurred from your heart to your hands. Recognizing that it's a little easier to open up your chest, spreading your collarbones, opening your sternum. And as you create more physical space in your chest, perhaps there's also more energetic space around your heart chakra. More space for energy to flow easily in and out of this energy center. There's less guarding. There's less constriction. There's openness. There's trusting and vulnerability. And with that trust and openness, you can receive and give freely through this open portal you've created. Feel the opening through your forearms and your hands. There's less of a holding and a gripping and more of a release, relax, feel. So perhaps we've not only opened up the physical hands and forearms, but also the energetic side of control, of gripping so hard to the reins of life. We release a little and allow there to be a little bit more flow. Right? Like a surfer, they don't control the waves, they just learn how to ride them gracefully. And envisioning this beautiful green light from your heart center, like green smoke swirling around in a spiral. Almost as though it's like an incense. It's sweet. And the smoke moves down your collarbones, into your shoulders, down your biceps, into your elbows, down your forearms, into your wrists, and spirals around each of your hands. Feeling this connection between your heart and your hands. Allow your hands to create the offerings of your heart, to bring your heart's desires into reality through your creations, through your work, through your sport, through every handshake, through every hug. Recognize that the works of these hands are intimately connected to the energy of your heart. You can stay in this place of open hands, open hearts for as long as you like. Thank you guys for sharing this time with me. If you enjoyed this, if you find it beneficial, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all the good things. Thanking yourselves for igniting that light within you. May you in turn be a source of light for others. Namaste. Thank you guys for letting me be of service. Have a great rest of your day and week. Ooh, feeling the flow moving through your fingertips. Bye. I love you. I'll see you when I see you.